last month we had a specific public comment asking to respond about the materials reconsideration policy and why the books are being held. So we had a specific set of questions, and I wrote an email back, and I just want to read that real quick. In response to your email below, it's my opinion that the library director and staff are following the CLN materials withdrawal and reconsideration policy, both the original June 2024 version and the most recent December 2025 revision. Both versions have the same text, quote, CLN shall not promote, give, or make available material harmful to minors to any minor. The library shall take reasonable steps to restrict access by minors to materials defined in Idaho Codes 18-1513, 1514, 1515, and 1517B. Materials harmful to minors shall be relocated to the mature content collection. That's the version December 2024-25, excuse me. That last sentence was changed in 2025 because before we didn't have the mature content collection. The new Idaho statute 1517B specifically instructs, quote, relocate the material to harmful to minors to an area with adult access only, unquote. The CLN material withdrawal and relocation policy has been compliant with that sentence in 1815-17B since June 2024. The difference is we now say mature content collection because we created that. The CLN library director and staff are following current policy, CLN policy, which makes it clear that the library staff has a duty to relocate the quote material harmful to minor unquote, to an adult access only location. In addition, there are provisions in the policy for patrons to file requests to relocate material using the form and procedure provided. It's abundantly clear in the CLN policy that the relocation request process is not the only way to initiate relocation, but an available avenue for patrons if they encounter overlooked material. The staff has the primary obligation to keep the harmful materials out of the areas that can be accessed by minors. The answers to your questions are found in the policy paragraph I quoted above. CLN staff is obligated to relocate the material harmful to minors if found in areas accessible to minors. The staff does not need a request, or should they wait for a relocation request if such a situation is encountered. The evaluation criteria are delineated in Idaho statutes 18, 15, 13, 15, 14, 15, 15, and 15, 17B, as indicated in the materials withdrawal and reconsideration policy. The policy does not specify the maximum duration allowed for the staff to relocate the material. Since the mature content collection and collection development manager positions are relatively new and labels and processes need to be created, the initial relocations are taking longer, but the library board and the public are being advised that our regular monthly board meetings. And that's my reply on that, but I also wanted to add that several months before in December, after the December meeting, we received this Freedom to Read Foundation letter that was dated December 15th. And like the day before our December board meeting, but we had public comments asking us or warning us about this letter from this Freedom to Read Foundation and that we have a legal risk and telling us about it. So what I'd like to know is how did the public commenter know about this letter that we hadn't even seen ourselves? And why were they bringing it to our attention when it hadn't even been published, or it was the day after it was dated? So I believe there are some members of our community that are working with Freedom to Read Foundation, or they wouldn't have had access to it. But basically, it's the same thing I just wrote in this email reply. The board is complying with our policy, and they're referring to some policy that's fictitious. They apparently haven't, whoever wrote this letter hasn't even read our CLN policies. It's not violating anything. The staff is following our policy. So there's obviously undercurrents going on here, but our policy is very clear and it's not been challenged legally, and I don't see how it can be because it's following Idaho law. That's my comments.